Duncan and Fillios in person. Commissioner Bill Brooks is attending by his hospital bed. He is entirely lucid. He did have surgery yesterday, so but he's perfectly fine and ready to go. Okay. So the first item is a public hearing, and that is resolution number 2018-44, Community Development Fee Schedule. Director Callahan, would you please lead us?
Of course. Good morning, everyone. On the screen I have, and we can go through all of the proposed fees, but let me give you a brief moment of context. This is necessary in part because of your decision to amend the opt-out program. That requires that we change certain fees, eliminate certain fees, and add certain fees. All of that is, I assume, spelled out for you sufficiently, but of course we can talk about it if you have questions.
Okay.
What's not so obvious, and the part that I actually asked Dina to attend today, and she graciously did, is that I have asked that we bump things up 5% across the board because in 2015 we had an audit that brought to light that we're behind the 8 ball, if you'll pardon the metaphor, of our fee schedule. I know that at least for some 13 years we have not actually updated like this all of our fees. And so it must logically follow that if we haven't updated the fees in 13 years and cost of living and consumer price indexes and other similar indices show that costs have risen, we must be behind. I assume we're more than 5% behind. There may be some few of these that are off. That's the sort of thing we as a staff really need to drill down on and haven't yet. But I believe it's safe to assume that in general we can go up 5%, as you have seen here, to cover the fact that we are behind on our overall fee schedule. Does that give you enough of a background? That's really what I wanted to discuss about this today. And John Mills knows the details on building permit specifics, should you have any questions.
It looks to me, as I peruse the fees, that for the most part it's 5% across the board.
Yes, sir.
With a few exceptions.
Yes, sir.
And you say that we haven't had a fee increase in 13 years.
At this level, where we've done a blanket approach to a great many things, we've had incremental things like, the one that comes to mind, I think it was a year, possibly 2 years ago, I asked to increase the number that we pay our hearing examiners. It was abysmally low before. Now it's closer to what a planner makes in processing this. That's the sort of thing we've incrementally done along the way, but by no means have we done it for each and every item as you see here. You see the difference?
Okay.
Okay.
Leslie, any questions?
No, just, I believe that staff is going to go through and make sure that the fees being charged are not more than the fees required, or that.
You have my commitment that we're going to do another round. We'll come back again sometime in the future. The auditor's staff will help us. We'll get a more precise view of what, by way of example, it actually costs us for Ben or Vlad to do a project. And that way we have a real world view of all of their costs for overhead and everything else and how that compares to the number that's before you today. But we're just not there yet.
Sure.
Okay.
So then what possible action would we take today?
Today would just be,
authorizing you to.
you need to choose. Do you want to increase the 5% like you see on the screen, or do you want to stay with our current fee schedule? You can do either or, but you got to do one.
Okay, okay. Bill, any questions?
Well, a comment, I was looking at Facebook today, and one of the things that was like a rash all over Facebook was how, because the commissioners eliminated the opt-out, the fees would be going up. And I just want to make it clear, or at least ask Director Callahan whether
Bill, I agree completely that they are separate items. I thought it was timely and convenient to ask for a 5% increase now, since we have to do a fee schedule anyway, if you'll remember my opening remarks, because we have to change some fees, add in some fees, take out some fees. Since we were doing that. Okay.
I understand.
Okay.
I think that's very clear, and I have no problem with that at all, David. I have a problem with people trying to link the two as the reason fees are going up is because we've eliminated the opt-out. It's that simple, and it's not that simple.
I think you have just stated perfectly for the record that these two things are unrelated.
Okay, thank you.
And I can add to that, that as a member of the prior board, when we discussed fee schedule, the general sentiment of that board was for you to increase the fees, and that it was in fact independent of anything to do with the opt-out. I think that the general consensus was that the fees were low and hadn't been raised in some time. Okay, any further questions for staff? Okay, so moving on to public comment. And we only have one, and that would be Summer Bushnell.
You already answered it, so I'm good.
You're okay?
Yep.
Okay, but just for the record, you were opposed to the fee increase.
But I didn't understand that there were other
Okay.
issues involved. I thought it was
Fair enough.
an excuse to raise fees, and now I understand that
Okay.
there's more logic behind it.
Thank you. Okay. Any other comment? Hearing none, do I have a motion to end public comment and enter into deliberations?
Sure, I move that we close public comment and enter into deliberations. Close the public hearing.
Yeah, it's,
I second the motion.
the motion was right.
Okay,
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Fillios.
aye. So we are now in deliberations. Questions, concerns, thoughts, anyone?
I mean, my concern is that the timing does look very poor. You know, fees haven't been raised in 13 years, and now all of a sudden it's like something's being taken away, and then we're saying, but now we're gonna charge you more even though we took it away. I happen to agree with the 5% increase, just because we haven't increased fees, and I would hope that, you know, I have commitment from staff to review to make sure that none of the fees we charge are actually indeed more than it costs community development to actually provide that service. So I'm comfortable with it.
Bill, thoughts?
I'm comfortable with the 5% also, and it is in a way unfortunate that they're coming at the same time, because there are those who have intentionally distorted and misinterpreted. At the same time, I'd like a commitment from staff that if we find that 5% is not sufficient to cover the actual cost of doing business, that Director Callahan bring that to the board and let us take a look at what he would recommend in terms of increases.
And I think I would second both and add that statutorily, and Pat, please opine here if I'm wrong, Director Callahan and staff really, we cannot be making a profit on these fees.
That
They
is
have to
a-
be directly related to the cost.
Excuse me, that is absolutely correct, and that's
Okay.
why it's so critical that he is working with the auditor's office, you know, Dina and her crew to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Okay.
And so, and, you know, of course, you know, I know David has committed in the past and has committed now on the record to continue to look at this and adjust fees, you know, recommend adjustment of fees as necessary.
Okay.
And also, one other comment on the combination of the two is that I think the only idea was just to have it in one resolution, you know, for, you know, efficiency purposes, and not to try to obfuscate anything.
Okay. So if there's nothing further, can we entertain it? So the motion would be really to affirm the resolution
Adopt the resolution as
as
presented.
presented, okay? Do I have a motion?
I move that we adopt resolution number 2018-44, the community development fee schedule as presented.
I second the motion.
Is it, I think the resolution number was wrong.
I think it's
on the agenda.
2019-35, isn't it?
2019-35, yeah.
Okay.
2018-44 was the fee resolution currently in effect, so we would just need the motion to be corrected.
All right, I ask that the motion be corrected to indicate resolution number 2019-35.
Perfect.
Me too, and I'll second it.
Okay.
Commissioner, Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Duncan,
Aye.
Chairman Fillios,
Aye. Resolution 2019-35 is adopted. Thank you. So moving on, so then that ends the public hearing section of our agenda. So moving on to deliberations. And that would be, okay, let's,
There, that's it.
are we therefore ready? Vlad?
He's pulling up the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record,